Hello, God bless everyone. In today's video, I wanted to talk about holding on to unforgiveness, hurt, bitterness, resentment. Um, this is something that God has helped me with in my walk, and just through issues in my past from rejection, abandonment, hurt. Whether it's been through different relationships I had in the past, relationship with my father. I didn't have a good relationship in the last years with my father, and that's something that God has helped me to forgive him and to see people and to have a better understanding that sometimes our parents, just how we go through things and we go through hurt in life, our parents and others also go through hurt as well. And it's not easy. Again, this is something that I've learned that I didn't even think was an issue, that I've learned in my walk with Jesus Christ, where He's helped me to pinpoint certain pain and hurt that I've gone through in my life, whether it's from rejection or feeling that I'm not good enough, or feeling that I didn't look right, or feeling that I wasn't chosen or picked by somebody, and or whether someone broke up with me, and in the beginning I used to take that very hard, or whether I worked hard enough and I felt that I felt, like my work wasn't appreciated, whether in a past relationship, whether as a partner or whatever it may be, that the things that I have done as a man weren't appreciated. And, a lot of these things come from rejection, and little by little you hold bitterness, where you might have issues with your neighbor, with your friend, with a brother, with a relative, with somebody from your past. And what I've learned is that we need to heal, and Jesus helps us heal. Whenever I prayed for anything else that I wanted God to work within me, I got reminded of certain things that happened in my past, and just from different hurt. And what I've learned is you could picture yourself releasing some of these things to Jesus. I've learned from my bishop that imagine yourself with an empty box, and when you remember someone that did something to you, and in your mind you'll know, because you'll be like, man, how could this person have done this to me? I was so good to them, and they hurt me. They treated me like I was a nobody. After all this, you could take that and say, Jesus, this still bothers me. This hurts me, right? And sometimes, depending on what that was, we have to go back and replace in our mind. But also the devil takes that, right, and replace it in our mind, so we could hold on to that bitterness and that resentment and that unforgiveness, so we don't let go of that. And then that's a prison, right? We're stuck in that hurt, and we hold on to that resentment. And we need to let go of that. So what I started doing is say, Jesus, I give you this. I give you this. I've learned just in my walk, Jesus, I nailed this to the cross. I nailed this feeling to the cross, because in the Bible it says, if we don't forgive others, our Heavenly Father will not forgive us. Even in the Lord's Prayer, we say, hey, forgive our trespasses as we forgive others. Also, in the Bible, Jesus tells the story of the servant who was begging his master to forgive him of his debt, and then he goes and doesn't forgive his servant of his debt. So then the king hears about this and calls back the servant and throws him in jail until he pays for everything, right? And Jesus says that, if you don't forgive, you'll be turned over to the tormentors. And, I say that to say, when you don't let go of that, when you don't heal from that, you might not see it, but you move on with that hurt, with that bitterness. And sometimes people come into your life and that comes up, right? And you treat others, especially people that don't deserve to be treated like that. And we gotta let go of that, because that could also make us sick, right? And I've learned that again, and I've said this in past videos, you give the enemy legal rights to you, and just like Jesus says, you'll be handed over to the tormentor. So you're definitely going to be given to the devil, and he's going to do different things with you. And again, and he takes that chance and puts these thoughts of bitterness and hurt, and whether you think about what your dad did, or he wasn't there for you, or things that you went through as a little kid, and you hold on to that, and you hold on to that. Next thing you know, you don't forgive, and that's not good. We need to forgive. It says in the Bible we have to forgive. It doesn't mean call the person and tell them, hey, I forgive you. Don't, say, hey, God, I choose to forgive so and so for what they did. It's not right. I don't think it's something they should have done, but I choose to forgive them, and I let go of that. And you might have to do that multiple times, but I wanted to come on here and say that because we see a lot of things, even in today's world, and things that get to us of, things that people say on the internet, or even say in comments, or hurt you or your friends, or there might be a circumstance when you need somebody and they're not able to do something, and then you hold some type of bitterness. In my past relationship, where I felt I did this and that wasn't valued, and I didn't feel like the person reciprocated that the things I did, and I sometimes held that. How did I know that I held it? Because later on, I'm thinking like, man, how could, something happens. I'm like, how could that person did that? And a lot of times I've been in my walk in these 2 years, I've been able to go back and sit with the Lord and go back and let go of a lot of that. Let go, whether I had an issue with a neighbor, or somebody that threw something in my property, or something that happened with somebody else where I was trying to help them. Like literally, my heart posture was to help them, and it wasn't received that way, right? And then I'm like, wow, I try to do this. And again, it's not that I've always been a saint and I've always been good. We all fall short. We're, sinners. And not that everything I did was right, but I've learned to let go of that every time it comes up. Every time it comes up, to let go of that, to forgive, to give it to Jesus. Jesus, here, I give you this. Jesus, I give you that. And I hope whoever comes across this video, if you do have any hurt, because sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes I've experienced something very traumatic in my life when I was a child, and I had to go back to that time, right? And it felt like I was there, and I had to let go of that, and I had to ask Jesus, free me from this. I come out of this. Free me from this. I give you this past. I give you this trauma. I give you this pain. And sometimes it's a working process. It doesn't always just heal on it so fast or goes away sometimes. But what I have learned, that you've forgiven someone or you healed when either that memory may come, or you might come across that person, and it's like they never did anything to you. It's like it feels like it never did anything to you. And that's one way to know when you feel like you've totally forgiven that person. I pray this video comes across the person that needs it. I hope it helps you heal. I hope you bring in Jesus into your life to help you heal, because there's a lot of things that we can't not do on our own. But when we put our trust in the Lord, Jesus will be with us and will help us, right? And I hope this video guides you and leads you to Jesus Christ. So until next time, God bless everyone. Yeah, we'll see you next time.